Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Connecticut Department of Transportation and the town of New Canaan, I would like to welcome you all for attending this public informational meeting for State Project number 89-129, Rehabilitation of Bridge number 05002, located on Ponus Ridge Road over Collins Pond in the town of New Canaan. My name is Preeti Bardwaj, and I am the project manager assigned to this project. We appreciate your willingness to participate in this forum virtually this evening, and we hope that you will find this meeting both interesting and informative. I would now like to go over some of the goals for tonight's meeting. I will explain how you will be able to interact with the project team. I will explain how the project is funded in the Federal Local Bridge DMS, or Design Managed by the State program. We will be also having some welcoming remarks from the town of New Canaan. I will then be introducing the project design team, and that includes the department's front office leadership, the department's design team, and our consultant liaison engineer team. This will then be followed with a technical presentation of the design, which will include the condition of the existing structure, purpose and need for the project, and the recommended design solution, which has currently progressed to a 30% design completion. As part of the department's public outreach program, it is at this point now that we are reaching out to you, the public, while it is still early in the design process, to receive any comments or concerns and answer any questions that you may have. We also have a representative from the DOT's Departments of Rights-of-Way to explain the rights-of-way process. And lastly, we will have a live question and answer session. I will now explain how you will be able to interact with the project team. There are 3 means of how you will be able to communicate. The first is by email, which is dot.flbp@ct.gov, and I will spell that out. It is dot.flbp@ct.gov. You can also phone in, and that phone number is 860-944-1111. Again, that number is 860-944-1111. Or you can also communicate by chat on the MS Teams live event chat. In this format, you can ask a question by clicking on the little question mark, which shows Q&A, and this will bring up your live event Q&A field. Select the Ask a Question button at the bottom right screen, and a field will pop up. And you can type your question and hit Enter with either a little arrow button to send. You can also check the box on the bottom to post your question anonymously if you prefer. There will be a slight delay, but eventually your question will appear in the featured section with all other questions that are asked tonight. The project email, phone, and chat will be screened by the project team during the Q&A session, and the questions asked by any of these methods will be posted to the MS Teams Q&A chat window. The questions will be asked out loud for the project team to answer. You can ask questions at any time during the presentation, but we will answer these questions during the live Q&A session that follows. We also have a project webpage link where the recording of tonight's entire presentation, including the Q&A session, will be stored. The web page will also contain the same information that I have previously explained on how to provide comments and ask questions. And that project web page is portal.ct.gov/DOT New Canaan 89-129. And again, I will spell that out. It is portal.ct.gov/DOT NEWCANAAN 89 2020-129. And lastly, please remember that the comment period to ask questions or provide comments will be open through March 18, 2021, via either email or telephone. So if you think of a question after tonight's meeting or want to expand on a question asked tonight, you will have until March 18th to do so. The MS Teams chat function is only available during tonight's live Q&A session.
We would greatly appreciate it if you could fill out a brief survey that the department has through SurveyMonkey. The virtual public informational meeting platform is still a relatively new one for the department, and this survey will help the department improve these public meetings going forward. There's also a civil rights flyer available. Both the links to the survey and civil rights flyer are located on the previously mentioned project webpage. And lastly, I am required to read the following statement as part of the Title VI Civil Rights Act, and that is, no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project.
I would now like to explain how this project is being funded. This bridge is a town-owned bridge and is being funded under the department's federal local bridge program. Traditionally in this program, the town selects a designer, and because federal funds are involved, the department provides administrative oversight because the department is considered to be stewards of those federal funds. The funding is traditionally 80% federal and 20% town for the design, rights-of-way, and construction phases of the project. However, this project is going to be funded under the department's newly launched DMS, or Design Managed by the State program. In this program, it will be the department who will be performing the design on behalf of the municipality, utilizing our consultant liaison engineers, who in this case are BL companies. BL has completed the 30% preliminary design, and it will be brought to final design completion by one of our pre-selected task-based designers. In addition, the design phase only will now be funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds, so the entire design phase is at zero cost to the town of New Canaan. Although the 30% preliminary design was performed by the department, it was in full partnership and coordination with the town of New Canaan. We held several meetings with the town and diligently worked together to incorporate most of the town's comments and concerns. And now we are reaching out to you, the community, to also weigh in. The initiative behind the DMS program was to expedite design delivery for municipal projects. The DMS program uses a streamlined design approach where we are able to utilize full departmental resources and are able to internally perform design tasks concurrently rather than linearly. In this program, we are able to cut down the typical design time by a half and bring these projects to construction quicker, which is enabling the department's perennial goal to keep our bridges, our town bridges, in a state of good repair. The department is pleased to be able to offer this program to the town of New Canaan. The DMS program is spending your municipal and state tax dollars both efficiently and effectively, and at the same time fostering great working relationships with our municipal partners. And with that, I would now like to hand it over to the town of New Canaan.
Good evening. My name is Joe Zagorinsky. I am the Senior Engineer in the Department of Public Works for the town of New Canaan. On behalf of the town of New Canaan, I'd like to welcome you to the virtual public information meeting for the Ponus Ridge Bridge at Collins Pond. According to the latest inspection from the Connecticut DOT, this bridge has been identified as a bridge that is in need of rehabilitation. It has been weight restricted for the last couple of years, and our heaviest fire apparatus cannot pass over the bridge. The town of New Canaan was given the opportunity to replace this bridge under the DMS program. Under this program, the bridge is currently being designed with 100% of the design cost being funded from the state. The construction cost of the bridge is also reimbursed at 80%. The town met with the team several times throughout the design process. 3 different design options were developed and pros and cons were analyzed. We selected the most favorable option and then incorporated the town of New Canaan standards, like the natural-looking stonework and the timber guardrails. The design process has gone very smooth to date, and I'd like to thank the project team for all their hard work. And I look forward to breaking ground on this project in the spring of 2023. Lastly, the public is always welcome to reach out to the Town of New Canaan Engineering Department at any time during this project with any questions or concerns. Thank you very much for attending this meeting, and now we will begin the technical portion of the presentation. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce the project team. I am Preeti Bardwaj, the project manager. To my left are the department's front office leadership, which includes Mr. Bart Sweeney, Division Chief of Bridges, and Mr. Robbie Barapat, Principal Engineer. We also have Mr. James Barrows, Project Engineer, and Mr. Dennis McDonald from the department's Office of Rights of Way. The consultant liaison engineers who have brought this project to 30% design completion are BL companies. From BL, we have Mr. Steve Frazier, Project Manager 2, and Mr. Sean Ladati, Project Manager 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally ready to present our technical portion of the presentation, and you will be hearing a lot of bridge lingo throughout the presentation. Therefore, I am about to give you a 2-minute crash course on some of the structural elements on a bridge and the numerical condition rating system assigned on a bridge. On the diagram shown, the deck is the riding surface of the bridge. The parapets, or sometimes we can also have an open rail system, they help prevent errant vehicles from going off the bridge. The beams, or the girders, are the supporting structural elements on a bridge and are designed to support vehicular loads, the self-weight of the bridge, and any environmental loads such as wind, seismic, etc. The parapets, the deck, and the beams make up what is known as the superstructure of a bridge. The abutments, wing walls, are the end supports of a bridge, and the piers, if there are any, are the intermediate supports. The abutments, wing walls, and piers make up what is known as the substructure of a bridge. The substructure not only supports the superstructure, but also helps in transmitting loads from the superstructure down to the bridge foundations. All state bridges and town bridges over 20 feet in length are inspected every 2 years by the department's Bridge Safety and Evaluation Unit and are assigned a condition rating on the major structural elements on a scale of 1 through 9, with 9 being excellent condition and 1 being imminent failure condition. When a major bridge element reaches a 4, or poor condition, that is when we start to initiate a project to address these structural deficiencies. Now that you are armed with basic bridge knowledge, I would now like to turn it over to Mr. Sean Ladati, who will be presenting the technical portion of the presentation.
Thank you, Preeti. Good evening. My name is Sean Ladati, and I will be presenting the technical portion of tonight's presentation of Bridge 05002, Ponus Ridge Road over Collins Pond in New Canaan, Connecticut. Here is a map of the project site. The bridge is located approximately 0.2 miles northwest of Clearview Lane. Here is an aerial view of the project site. As you see, the bridge is located approximately 45 feet downstream from the Collins Pond Dam. The Federal Emergency Management Agency's study refers to the watercourse upstream of and through this bridge as the Ripperlawn River Upper Reach. However, the project title will indicate that the bridge carries Ponus Ridge Road over Collins Pond to agree with the department's inventory of bridges. This slide depicts a plan view of the existing bridge. Riverline River Upper Reach and Collins Pond is shown in blue, and the existing bridge is shown in orange. The existing structure was built in 1957 and is a reinforced concrete slab on concrete abutments. It has a 32.5-foot clear span. The average daily traffic, or ADT, along Ponus Ridge Road is approximately 1,500 vehicles. This is based on the 2017 CTDOT traffic log. This slide depicts a typical section of the existing bridge. The superstructure is a concrete slab and is shown in orange. The deck is shown in yellow and consists of a bituminous concrete overlay. The bridge rail is shown in green. As you can see, Ponus Ridge Road carries one lane of traffic in each direction. It consists of two 11-foot travel lanes. The curb-to-curb width is 22 feet. This slide shows the project area at street level. In the photo on the left, we are looking west on Ponus Ridge Road. In the photo on the right, we are looking east. This slide shows photos of the structure taken from the water. The photo on the left shows the downstream elevation, and the photo on the right shows the upstream elevation. This slide shows a photo of the top of the road and bridge rail on the left, and a photo of the underside of the deck on the right. The purpose of this project is to address the diminished load rating of the bridge. The latest inspection report, dated January 29, 2019, classifies this structure as functionally obsolete due to the narrow width. The deck was in good condition with a rating of 7, and the superstructure and substructure were in satisfactory condition with a rating of 6. The photo on the right of the slide shows the existing bridge has a posted weight restriction of 13 tons for a single unit truck, 20 tons for a tractor semi-trailer combination, and 35 tons for a single unit truck-trailer combination. The weight restriction is based on the strength of the reinforced concrete slab. This weight restriction prevents some of the town's fire vehicles from using this bridge. This slide depicts a plan view of the proposed structure. The proposed replacement, shown here in orange, consists of replacing the existing superstructure with precast concrete deck units with slight modifications that the existing abutment sees to accept the new superstructure. Since the existing substructure was in satisfactory condition, it will remain and be repaired where required. All substructure work will occur outside of the water. The bridge span will match the existing span of 32.5 feet, and the bridge will be widened to accommodate two 10-foot travel lanes and two 2-foot shoulders. The shoulders will not be striped to match the existing roadway. The limits of the roadway reconstruction are shown here in yellow. The right-of-way impacts are shown on this plan. The areas with diagonal hatch are areas where permanent takes are anticipated, and the areas with the dotted hatch are where construction easements are anticipated. It is anticipated that 4 partial property takes are required to properly have the bridge within the town right-of-way. It is also anticipated 2 construction easements are required to the north to accommodate temporary utility relocations. It is anticipated the aerial utilities will be temporarily relocated to the north to allow for the bridge rehabilitation. The utilities will be moved back to the original location after construction is completed. The cross-section view here shows the width of the proposed bridge. As previously noted, the bridge will be widened to accommodate a 10-foot travel lane and a 2-foot shoulder in each direction. Additionally, 3-tube curb-mounted open bridge rail, compliant with current federal safety standards, are proposed to be constructed on both sides of the bridge. The open bridge rail is shown here in green. The pavement section is shown in yellow, which is the top of a concrete shear slab. Below that is the precast concrete deck unit superstructure shown in orange. The next slide is the elevation view of the replacement bridge. The view shows the proposed structure in orange with a clear span of 32.5 feet, which matches the existing clear span. The existing abutments will remain, and slight modifications will be required to accept the new superstructure. This slide also depicts the 3-tube curb-mounted open bridge rail, shown in green, with vertical face concrete end blocks with stone cladding. New barrier wall and Federal Highway Administration compliant steel-backed timber guide rail, shown in blue, are proposed for each corner of the bridge. This slide shows photos of the proposed bridge aesthetics. Across the bridge, 3-tube curb-mounted open metal bridge rail will be flanked by stone-cladded concrete end blocks. An example can be seen in the upper photo. The photo on the lower left shows typical stone cladding used by the town of New Canaan. Beyond the end block, timber guide rail will extend from the bridge along the approaches. The photo on the lower right shows an example of the steel-backed timber guide rail and stone cladding used on New Canaan's wastewater treatment plant. This slide depicts the maintenance and protection of traffic. Due to the narrow width of the existing bridge, Ponus Road will be closed at the bridge for the duration of construction. Access to all driveways within the project limits will be maintained at all times. The closed work area is shown here in yellow. This slide shows the proposed detour route in red. Traffic will be detoured along Greenlee Road, West Road, and Dan's Highway. The detour route is approximately 4.5 miles long. The road closure is anticipated to have a 6-month duration. It is anticipated that aerial utilities will be temporarily relocated to the north to allow for the bridge rehabilitation. BL companies will coordinate with all utility companies throughout design and construction. There will be environmental permits due to the impacts to inland wetlands and the Ripperon River Upper Reach watercourse. The anticipated permits are Town of New Canaan Inland Wetland Permit and Connecticut DOT Flood Management Flood Certification MOU. It is anticipated that 4 partial property takes are required to properly have all the bridge structure within the town right-of-way. It is also anticipated 2 construction easements to the north are required to accommodate the temporary aerial relocation. I will now pass it off to Dennis to explain the right-of-way acquisition process.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis McDonald, and I'm a representative from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, Division of Rights-of-Way. I'm just going to provide a brief overview of the right-of-way process. So the function of the Division of Rights-of-Way is to acquire all property and property rights necessary for the project. This is done in accordance with Connecticut General Statute Section 13A73, 13A98E, and the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970 as amended. The typical right-of-way impacts include partial acquisitions, easements, and rights. Impacts are subject to change as the design progresses, but this gives a general idea of typical property impacts. Once property impacts have been established, each impacted property owner will receive a letter of intent to acquire along with a property acquisition map. The letter essentially initiates the right-of-way process, and the map provides a detailed overview of the specific right-of-way impacts. Soon after the letter is received, the valuation process will take place, and once a value has been established, each impacted property owner will receive a written offer of compensation. Property owners will be given time to consider the offer and negotiate should they wish. If an agreement is reached, an acceptance document will be signed, and a closing will take place at a later date. If an agreement is not reached for whatever reason, the state will utilize its power of eminent domain and acquire the property rights through the condemnation process. Now, I understand this has a negative connotation, but many times this is done to keep a project on schedule. If the state elects to pursue eminent domain, the original offer is deposited in the court system. Property owners can continue negotiations or file a formal appeal for a reassessment of damages through the court system. Please note all appeals must be filed within 6 months from the date in which the state files for eminent domain. And that is all I have for tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dennis. This slide shows our estimated cost and schedule. At this time, we anticipate construction to begin in the spring of 2023 and be completed by the fall of the same year. We are currently estimating a construction cost of approximately $1.55 million, which will be paid for with 80% federal and 20% municipal funds.
Thank you, Sean. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our technical portion of the presentation. I would like to thank everyone on my design team and everyone behind the scenes who helped put this live event together. We are going to leave the Q&A session information on the screen for your benefit, and we will be answering any questions that came in during the presentation and answer any questions that will come in during this live Q&A session. Once again, we would like to remind everyone to please visit the project webpage to participate in the survey pertaining to tonight's event or ask additional questions, or view project plans and information. For those of you listening on the phone, the project web page is again portal.ct.gov/DOT New Canaan 89-129. So with that, we are now going to start the live question and answer session. We will take as many questions as we can. Feel free to use that chat function or call in by phone. The number is again 860-944-1111, or by email. The address is again dot-flbp@ct.gov. And once again, the comment period is open until March 18th, 2021.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a few questions, and I'm going to read them out loud for our project team to answer. So the first question that we have is, was a full replacement of the bridge investigated? Can I have Sean from BL Companies please take that first question?
Yes, thank you, Bray. This is Sean Ladati with BL Companies. Several options were considered during the preliminary engineering phase to repair the bridge, which included replacement of the superstructure with precast concrete deck units, replacement of the superstructure with steel girders, and a full bridge replacement with steel girder superstructure on an integral abutment. Since the substructure was in satisfactory condition and it could be reused, the full replacement did not seem warranted. After repairs, the rating of the substructure is anticipated to be in good condition. The full bridge replacement would cost more money, would have a longer construction duration, and would have a larger right-of-way impact.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. We have another question. And that question is, are you aware that the dam of Collins Pond is planned to be rehabilitated or replaced? And are you incorporating this issue into the bridge project? Can I have Sean from BL please take this question?
Yes. From our understanding that any improvements to the dam right now are in a very preliminary phase. Our project does account for the existing dam in both our hydraulic calculations and in the construction considerations. The dam will be monitored during construction to ensure our construction does not cause impact to the dam. If any improvements are proposed to be constructed during the same period as our bridge rehabilitation, our contract documents will require the contractor to coordinate with the dam project.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. Let's see, we have another question. When is construction anticipated to start, and how long will the detour be in place? Sean, can you please take this question?
Yes. Construction is anticipated to start in the spring of 2023 and have a 6-month duration.
Thank you very much. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, okay, we do have another question. Will mail delivery, be impacted, and how will EMS be coordinated? And can I have Sean take this question first, and Joe from the town of New Canaan, if you would also like to add in after he's finished.
The post office and emergency services will be notified of the detour and the construction schedule and the proposed detour route, so they can plan accordingly prior to the start of construction and the detour.
Thank you. And this is Joe Zagorinsky. The Department of Public Works has weekly meetings with emergency management, and we will keep them in the loop on any schedule or any schedule impacts. We will also put in place some message signs to keep the residents and everyone abreast of the situation.
Okay, thank you, Sean and Joe. We have another question. Can you share your hydro report with the residents? Sean, would you please take this question?
I'm going to pass to Steve on this one.
Sure. So as far as the hydraulic and hydrologic reports, it's still under, it's been preliminary done in order for, to go through all of these alternatives and then arrive at this recommended alternative. And we are working through with the department to finalize those reports. I think once those reports are finalized, we would be able to share them with the town, and then that can be a place where the residents can check them out.
Okay. Thank you, Steve, and that's a very good point. We are, as I had stated, very early in the design. We're only at 30%. So right now it would be a little bit premature. But yes, as we progress further into final design, that most certainly can be shared if the request is there to do so. Next question, where will the contractor place his equipment? Sean, can you please take this question?
Yes, the contractor can place his equipment at the approaches of the bridge, since the roadway will be closed during construction and the traffic will be detoured. If the crane is required to place the precast concrete deck units, it can be placed along the eastern approach.
This is Steve Frazier with BL. Just wanted to chime in after that. Typically, the design plans that are produced will show the areas that will be impacted. And so per the contract documents, the contractor would be required to restore those impacted areas as part of the work. If in any event, damage to any, if something is disturbed during construction that's beyond those limits, the contractor would be required to restore those areas as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. I would just like to remind the YouTube audience that the email and the website and survey are below the video in the description. Just an FYI if you're watching from YouTube. Okay, so let's see. We are waiting for more questions. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please don't hesitate to call in. Again, the phone number is 860-944-1111. Or email, it's dot-flbp@ct.gov. Okay, I believe we have another question. Can stage construction be used instead? Sean from BL, can you please take this question?
Yeah. Stage construction was reviewed during the preliminary engineering phase for this bridge, where one half the bridge will be demolished and reconstructed while one lane of alternating one-way traffic is maintained. But due to the narrow width of the existing bridge, the temporary one-way lane would not meet the minimum required lane width. The stage construction would require widening of the bridge, which would increase construction costs, duration, environmental impacts, and also right-of-way impacts. So ultimately, it was decided to go with the detour route.
Thank you very much. If you have any other questions coming in, please, again, email us, call us. The numbers are shown for those of you that are watching through MS Teams. Okay, I believe we have another question that came in. The question is the design team for the bridge aware that the dam upstream of the bridge is structurally unsound and has been designated as in poor condition by Connecticut Deep and is in need of urgent repair? Is this booked into the design of the bridge? And Sean or Steve, can you please, from BL, can you please take this question? And if the town would also like to weigh in on any insight into this question as well.
Sure. This is Sean Ladati with BL. We are not aware of the condition of the dam. The rehab of the dam is not part of our project, and the construction, if there was construction, would be coordinated with ours. Our construction also would not impact the dam, as part of our contract documents would be for the contractor to monitor the dam during construction to make sure there is no impact.
And this is Steve with BL. I can join in too. We'll be working closely with Joe and the town during design, and we'll be coordinating with Joe so that if there are developments with the dam project, we can make sure that you know, this bridge project can accommodate those, you know, whatever ends up happening with the dam. Because they're right next to each other. We need to coordinate that. So we'll be working closely with Joe on that.
Thank you, Sean and Steve, for that answer. We have another question. As this is the first time we have seen the plans for this project, is a print version available? Very hard to see on screen. Sean, would you like to take this question?
Yes, the presentation afterward will be presented or kept on the project website. Also, the display documents are linked on the project website or are able to download and print.
And I can jump in. This is Steve Frazier from BO again. If printed documents, larger scale printed documents are required, we can certainly provide those to the town so that those types of documents can be viewed there.
Thank you very much. Next question. Will contractor be required to restore conditions to match the existing conditions and materials prior to disturbance? Sean or Steve from BL, could you please take this question?
Yes, any disturbance for this construction project will be restored to the existing condition prior to the construction project. This will be coordinated through the town, the property owners during the design of the project and also through the right-of-way process.
Thank you very much, Sean. The following email question was received. Is the design team aware that there is a residence on an island immediately downstream from the bridge? Sean or Steve, would either of you please take this question?
Yes, we're aware that there is a home on an island just downstream from the bridge. We did do the preliminary design of this bridge to the DOT drainage manual requirements. We designed this bridge to a 100-year design storm and checked it for a 500-year design storm. There was a very minimal increase in water surface elevation at the bridge of 0.01 feet and a decrease of velocity of 0.01 feet. So really it's maintaining the existing flows through the bridge for the proposed structure.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it another minute or so. I don't see any more questions coming in. So while we are waiting for questions, I would just like to remind everyone again that this whole presentation, including the Q&A session, will be recorded, as was said earlier, and will be posted to YouTube following this event. The recording will also be made available on the link that's shown on the project webpage. Okay. I don't see any more questions coming in, so I'm going to start taking this opportunity to start wrapping up. I would like to encourage everyone to please take the survey. The link is shown on the Teams chat box. or for those of you that are watching on YouTube, the survey is below the video, as I said earlier. This would greatly help us improve the virtual meeting experience in the future. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you that the comment period is open through March 18th. I would like to thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope that you found this meeting informative and that we were able to answer your questions. All of us on the design team and the town of New Canaan are always available to answer any questions, even outside of the comment period. We are also available to meet with you individually on the project site if you so desire. Once again, thank you and have a wonderful evening.